Hey everyone, how's it going today? So do you remember in Clone Wars Season 7 when we got that glimpse of Obi-Wan knowing about Anakin and Padme? Well, there was a time, which is now Legends, in Labyrinth of Evil by James Luceno, where Obi-Wan actually confronted Anakin about his feelings for Padme and speaks of his destiny. So before we get to that, let me ask you this. Do you believe that if Padme had never existed, or she and Anakin never met, that there wouldn't have been a Darth Vader? Was it more Padme or joining the light side order at an older age, which always kept Anakin with one foot out the door in regards to the Jedi? Or was it both? Or if there had been no Padme, that change alone would have allowed Anakin to fully embrace the Jedi and become their greatest champion? Possibly. I can ask this in another way too. If Anakin never joined the Jedi, could he have fulfilled his destiny as the Chosen One? And if he couldn't, what would become of the galaxy and the Force? Now we know the what if that Anakin gave himself in a previous video that I made from this book, Labyrinth of Evil, where Anakin goes through the story in his head if he never became a Jedi. And you can see that video for yourself, but essentially he would have just become a famous pilot. Now regardless of where those scenarios could have led to, good or not, in actuality, Anakin tried to live in two clashing worlds simultaneously. One filled with love and passion with Padme in the real world, and another, more clerical, yet fantastical existence full of prophecy and destiny with the Jedi. Ultimately, one had to give way to the other, and that, as we know, didn't end well for neither Anakin, nor Padme, or the Jedi. The reason I'm bringing this up is that I'm going to share this moment from James Luceno's Labyrinth of Evil with you guys today. Now remember how quickly it took Obi-Wan to guess that Padme was pregnant with Anakin's child in episode 3? Well, it's clear that he already suspected certain barriers had been crossed between the two of them and wasn't as blind to their relationship as he let on. As we see more evidence of that here, in the passage I'm going to read for you. The Legends book takes place right before the start of episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And at this particular juncture, Anakin and Obi-Wan are debating with each other about whether to pursue Count Dooku to another planet as the High Council wants them to, or instead travel to Coruscant and continue their search for Darth Sidious. Anakin wants to return to Coruscant. Obi-Wan suspects there are other reasons than Sidious which motivates Anakin's desire to return to the Republic capital. Obi-Wan fell silent, as if struck by a sudden suspicion. Anakin, is it Padme? Anakin rolled his eyes. Here you go again. Well, is it? Anakin compressed his lips, then said, I won't lie to you and say that I don't miss her. Obi-Wan frowned sympathetically. You can't afford to miss her in that way. And exactly why is that, Master? Because you cannot be married to both. Who said anything about marriage? She's a friend. I miss her as a friend. You would forego your destiny for Padme. Anakin's brow beetled in anger. I never claimed to be the Chosen One. That was Qui-Gon. Even the Council doesn't believe it anymore. So why should you? Because I think you believe it, Obi-Wan said calmly. I think you know in your heart that you're meant for something extraordinary. And you, Master? What does your heart tell you you're meant for? Infinite sadness, Obi-Wan said, even while smiling. Anakin regarded him. If you believe in destiny, then everything we do becomes part of that destiny. You may be right. I don't have the answer. I wish I did. Then where does that leave us? Obi-Wan rested his hands on Anakin's shoulders. Speak with Palpatine. Maybe he'll see something in this that I've missed. Now, I wish Anakin here had told him the truth about Padme. If Obi-Wan knew the truth, the whole truth, and not just a suspicion, while he would be disapproving, Anakin would have come to him about his visions of Padme's death. Maybe Obi-Wan could have reached him before he gave in to Sidious's machinations. And I definitely believe Ahsoka could have, if she had reached Anakin. But we all know with Season 7, that she wasn't able to get a hold of him before he turned. You think Obi-Wan would have kept Anakin's marriage a secret or turned him into the Council? And what did you think he said when he saw the infinite sadness for his own future? Which is very true. I guess Obi-Wan sensed the truth of it in the Force, for he spends the rest of his days in mourning about what happened to Anakin and the Jedi, as he looked over Luke. Now I made sure to leave in that last part where Obi-Wan sends Anakin right into the dragon's lair with Palpatine. He was starting to reach Anakin and maybe even get his former apprentice to truly open up, but instead his advice brings Skywalker even more under Sidious's influence. Obi-Wan's council is also representative of the Jedi as a whole. They guide Anakin, but ultimately keep sending him into Sidious's waiting hands. It really makes me wonder what would have happened if Qui-Gon was still alive and didn't die from Darth Maul. I think everything would have been changed, and especially as Dave Filoni says, he was the father that Anakin always needed. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you, always.
Fulfill your destiny.